Hi everybody, I'm Rick Beato. In today's Everything Music, we're going to talk about how to write in the style of film scoring legend James Newton Howard. That's coming up next. James Newton Howard was born in 1951 in Los Angeles. He's a multi-award winner in Grammy Awards, Emmy Awards, Academy Awards. He has scored such films as Pretty Woman, The Prince of Tides, The Fugitive, Devil's Advocate, The Sixth Sense, Dinosaur, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Treasure Planet, Signs, The Village, King Kong, Batman Begins, I Am Legend, Blood Diamond, Dark Knight, The Bourne Legacy, Hunger Games, a lot of things. One thing I'd like to say about what I'm doing in these film scoring spotlights is that I'm doing piano reductions of the orchestral parts. Historically, piano reductions are done of many symphonic works. Composers would learn about other compositions from doing their own piano reductions. So we're going to look at a few of his cues to see some of the concepts that he uses in his film scoring. Okay, the first cue we're going to start out with is from the movie King Kong. This particular cue is called Beauty Killed the Beast. It begins with a really quiet string part, and then the orchestra comes in after this little introduction. Let's listen to the string introduction here. I can hear da 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 da. That sounds like it's in the cellos, and it sounds like it begins with a spread triad. That sounds like an A minor spread triad, something like this. Yeah. So it's going between two different spread triads. It starts out with an A minor spread triad. So A, E, C. And then the middle note, but okay, so you're going from A minor to F major. You can hear that. So you've got this. And then so D, C, B, C in the cellos, and you can tell there's an intensity to it because it's written in the higher register of the cellos, which makes it have more intensity to the part. Listen again. You can hear it resolves into that F major chord there, so it's, and then. That's a straight F major chord. C, F, A, C. F major. To a D minor 7 sound there. You hear that? D minor 7. Then it repeats it again. There you go. And you heard that D minor 7. So then then you're into this inverted F major 7 chord. E, F, A, C. At the very end here on the fade. D minor 7, then the bottom note moves up a half step to create the dissonance between the E and F, and then we're into the next section. Hear the timpani on the A. So we've got so A, B. There's also this. This is the upper structure of the chord. You got the octave there. Then you have the A, B, create the A sus2 sound. It's going back and forth between the... Drops the bass down to F, which makes it... an F major 7 sound. A sus2, A sus2. And that's giving you a little F Lydian. There's your Lydian note, your B. So you got this. You still have that up there. Then da 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 da. Straight down, walking down from the D. Da 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 da. So it'd be. But you've got this up here. That's in the horns. Okay, this next section is a great example of a modal line. You've got an A Aeolian, essentially C major. It's the 6th mode of C major. So you have a few different things going on here. You have the A in the bass, and then you have a E A moving up to F B, still with A in the bass, and then G C, then A D. That's the main internal line that you have in there. So listen to it. In the top, first violins, second violins, or it could be second violins playing the C and the E. You got the C, so you've got octave C's, E, and then, so I've got A, E, A, and then that moves up to A, F, B, and then beautiful A Aeolian voicing, A, G, C, D, B, and then up to A, D, B. So that's that section there. Beautiful Aeolian. Love that. And then you're on to the new section. You hear the timpani roll, and you hear the low E in the basses here. Beautiful cello line. So now we're in an E Phrygian sound. Check it out. Now E Phrygian and A Aeolian are in the same key. They're both C major. Okay? Da, 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 da. And then you hear that E up there, so you're going. Then he sneaks in that octave there. Then you have that F. Second time it comes around, it's... Listen to it. When he goes to the C, so E, D, it hits the F and the C. So it really gives that you have that rub between that E. You're still hearing that the timpani's rolling on the E with the basses. D, C, and F. So it goes. So you've got this flat 9 interval here. This is what really gives the mood, the really powerful, that really intenseness to this, is those flat 9 intervals. I've talked about them a lot in these videos when I'm talking about these modal chords. Well, this is that characteristic of the Phrygian scale, that is that half step. So that's all you need to describe it. It's a great sound. That minor 9 interval, it's not a half step, it's actually a minor 9 because there's an octave between it, is being used in this whole hear it again. So he's increasing the range, it's building. We're still haven't left this E Phrygian scale here. This is all white notes. Okay, now we're starting to get some overlapping dissonances. Listen to this. So we have up here in the top, we've got that's the 6th intervals, DB, and then EC. C is on the top, so B, C, D, E. So right there, we've got F, B, C. So you got that major 7th interval, and C there. Okay, so we've got some really cool lines going on here now. As we keep getting this cello line moving like that, the strings are starting to move up in register. And then, so I've got E, D, B. So there's E in the bass. And then D, E, C. So I've got that B, F, E, C. Now we got those fifths and the horns. And so really reinforcing that Phrygian sound all the way through here. There's no other chromatic notes. There's our first move away. So, da. We have that B flat that enters there. So you get that perfect fifth there. We've gone down from. So what you have there is you have a B flat major spread triad. B flat, F, D, and then E in the bass. Really cool sound. So he's gone from the so now we've got B flat major over E. So we've got a flat 9, flat 5 sound, which comes from can be from the dominant diminished scale, or it can be from the altered dominant scale. He's really using it as a voice leading motion. So E, B, F, D. Really great sound. That's a real polychord. So after we come out of this B flat major over E chord, we get into this ostinato, really powerful brass interlude. The transition is this, which is the entire orchestra playing unison A's and B flats along with the timpani. Really powerful. Really makes that transition. Repeats it again, and then we enter our new section. So we're into our new section with a timpani roll. Now you notice this in John Williams, you notice this in Thomas Newman. The timpani rolls are a really good way to move into a new section. It's like a swell. We do them in rock music, you do them with harmonics and things like that, or backwards piano sounds. But they do this in the orchestra by using the timpani or by swelling with a cymbal. So now we've got... So the strings are playing A up at the top here, and we have this melody. F, E, D flat, A flat. So you've got this flat 9 interval there, which once again is really powerful. But here's this melody line that's happening here is essentially you've got D flat major and D flat minor. So F, so you've got F, E, D flat, A flat. So it's really kind of D flat major and D flat minor. But with this A up here, so check it out. So once again. Strings are playing tremolo. And then it's gone from the up the A. So we've got so that is an interlude into the next section, which is really kind of the ending coda of this cue. This next little bit is. But this is really interesting use of one harmonic device. It's kind of what I was talking about with Thomas Newman, how they use major and minor together. So this is essentially you've got major. It's not played all together, but it's implying both those two harmonies. With that. So right there, we have a really interesting cluster. So in the horns, we've got, but there's also, so you have this A flat, A natural, and B flat together. Check it out. Right there. You can hear you can also hear the A in there, and then you hear the A flat. So that is a cluster. So you have the notes A flat, A natural, and B flat all put together. That cluster, a cluster is when you have chromatic notes, 3 chromatic notes in a row would constitute a cluster. They're really used effectively in instances like this where you're leading into a transition. You want a big swell. And then we're into the next section. We have the high B flat octave in the strings. Then, so that's B flat up here with a D in the bass, F sharp, G, and then the strings drop down to A, and then the horns come in with an A major chord in first inversion to C sharp minor. And your strings drop down. Listen here. A, da, da, that's A major to C sharp minor. A major and C sharp minor is only one difference. C sharp E A, C sharp E G sharp. A moves to G sharp. And you got the low octave there. And they're up here in the strings. Drop down to A in the strings. And then we get our... And that's it. And it swells out. Bum, bum. Then crescendo to the end of the cue. So that's it for that cue. Okay, the introduction to this next cue is still part of the same piece, but it happens right after it. It's part of a chase scene. Okay, so essentially in the orchestra, what you have is you have this octave brass, just the note A, orchestrated through the entire orchestra, and then it follows with an A dominant diminished line. That's the A dominant diminished scale, but the line is, so it's A, B flat, A, G, A, B flat, C, C sharp, or D flat, E flat. It's a little polyrhythm. So that's your pattern. It's a pattern of 9. It's like a polyrhythm that's going on. But then we lead into this. So this next section has a contrary motion part. Check it out. So one of your lines is going like this, and it's orchestrated throughout the strings and the brass. And the top line's moving. So they're moving at contrary motion. So they move like this. They move like this. Up on a tritone, F sharp in the bass and C in the top. So you got E and B, and then D and E, and then C and F sharp tritone. Then this moves up, G, A to unison Bs. To tritone reversed, F sharp in the bass and C in the top there. Listen again. So after you get to the F sharp in the bass and C tritone, then it goes to F minor and it does something like this. So I've got F minor in the left hand here, F, C, A flat, and then you're walking up, which would be part of an F Dorian scale if you think of it. So you got the D natural there, which makes an F Dorian. So check it out. And then it goes to... Then we go to E flat minor. So you got G flat up here, and you got E flat minor. And then having those parallel minor chords a whole step apart. Because it's a real distinctive sound. Okay, now. So after the big E flat minor chord, then we hit this F minor major. F minor major 7 chord. That's just a straight. It's got a low fifth in it, you can tell. Now you tend to hear these minor major 7th chords like that really in jazz. And I'm sure that James is a jazz musician or has had a lot of exposure to jazz because he has the vocabulary. When you see things like that, minor major 7th chords, they're really particular to jazz and not to pop music as much. That's all that is. That's a good way to finish out that cue. This next cue we're going to look at is from the M. Night Shyamalan movie The Village from 2004. And the thing I want to show you from this is the use of arpeggios over a static tonic. This is done in the violin, and it's really beautiful. It really starts in F Aeolian, but it modulates using some different modes, but the way that it has this pulsating arpeggiated effect is really beautiful. I'm going to play the beginning of it. Here it is from the top. So it starts with the harp and the violin playing together. I'm going to do this on the piano so you can follow the arpeggios and hear these different chords that are based over an F pedal tone. Like I said, it starts in F Aeolian, so this first starts on C and it goes like this. Okay, now this is really straight out of F Aeolian. F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F. It starts on the C. So C, A flat, G, F, D flat, C. It's a really great Aeolian sound. So it does it 2 times, then it goes to the next arpeggio. Check it out. Then, so that second one starts on B flat, and it goes. It replaces the note C and uses B flat, but once again, it's still using the notes of F Aeolian. So B flat, A flat, G, F, D flat, C. It's gorgeous. Okay, it does that 2 times, and then so it starts out. Then the B flat on the top note. Back to this beginning part again. 2 times. And then the third, then it goes. The next one is write down F minor, add 9. Listen to it again. Then it changes it slightly. Then he goes 2 times. So the first 2 times is F minor, add 9. Then he just puts the flat 6 back in there to give the Aeolian sound again. So A flat, G, F, D flat, C. Okay, so if we start from the beginning one more time, I'll play it from the beginning, just so you can get a feel for it. Back to the first part. Okay, that's our first key change there. Everything is in F Aeolian until there. So we're. He goes. So he's doing a G flat add 9 or F sharp add 9 over F. G flat add 9, we'll say. It starts on the add 9, which is A flat, and then right down over F. Really great sound. Listen to it. Then he goes. So that time it's. So this is right out of F Phrygian. So we've gone from F Aeolian, and this time he's. So what's going on here when we moved from F Aeolian, which has this kind of a sound, to F Phrygian, which is that sound, we've moved one key in a flat direction or a downward modulation, as can be seen by this chart. There's a whole episode based on sharp and flat direction modulations that you should check out. When you're in F Aeolian, which is A flat major, there's 4 flats. When you go to F Phrygian, there's 5 flats. You've added a flat. So check it out. And then you're back to straight F minor add 9. This soundtrack I would recommend you checking out. There's a lot of really great music on it, a lot of great use of modal scales. Just in this one instance here, it's really fascinating to see what James Newton Howard does over a pedal tone. I know we've talked about this in some of my other videos on what to do over a pedal, but this idea of using these modes like F Aeolian and then F Phrygian, that's a modal modulation right there. And this kind of starts to incorporate these sharp and flat direction modal modulations that I'm talking about. So that's all for now. We have a lot more of James Newton Howard that we can do. I'm going to do a whole nother episode on him, as I am with some of the other film composers. Please check out my John Williams video and my Thomas Newman 2 videos. Thanks for watching. I'm Rick Beato.